Sup lads, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be looking at another specific team like we have been recently on the channel. We've looked at like Spurs, Aston Villa, West Ham in the past, but today we're going to be looking at Newcastle United and will they seriously get relegated or will they end up being fine in the end, and how with an alright squad are they doing so poorly in the Premier League this season. So obviously Newcastle currently are sitting in 17th in the Premier League. I think they're 3 points clear of 18th placed Fulham, but Fulham have a better goal difference, and I think but Newcastle do have a game in hand, I think. So that's a positive for them, but you know, it's definitely tight down there, and funnily enough, those two do play on the last game of the season, Fulham and Newcastle. That's going to be a crucial game to see who survives in the Premier League. I think Newcastle only have 2 wins in their last 18, 3 wins in their last 20. It's a very, very poor record, and it's 100% relegation form, and especially if you look at it now, Fulham are looking up, Brighton are looking up. They just beat Newcastle 3-0 before the international break. You know, it's really struggling times, and realistically those are the only other 3 teams that are going to go down, along with Sheffield United and West Brom, let's be real. And do I think Newcastle will go down? I'm probably out of those 3 teams would want to see them most go down, just because I like the way Brighton and Fulham play football. They've got a good young squad, both of those teams. And Newcastle they play obviously the long ball, and the Steve Bruce, and fans, we'll go on to Steve Bruce in a minute, because you know, fans have been calling for his head for a very long while now. I think it was 18 months ago when they appointed him. No one even wanted him in the first place anyway, because no one wanted to come to Newcastle as a manager, and that just sums it all up, really. And, you know, fans have been calling his head pretty much the whole season, and he still hasn't been sacked. I mean, I think it was a very, very strange interview he said a couple of weeks ago when he says, after a loss, I think he said, we're going to play football my way from now on. So in those months prior, what football were you playing if that's going to be the way? You know what I mean? Like, Newcastle in a very, very concerning place, I think, at the minute, and relegation to the Championship is a real possibility, and it's nothing new for Newcastle. I think they've been relegated twice already under Mike Ashley, and yeah, I think it could be looking for a 3rd time now. Obviously, the last time they went down to the Championship, they bounced back straight away, won the title, boom, they went straight back up. But now, relegation's looking a real possibility, and the bad thing is they've got bad players injured. They've got their key good players injured. I think Almiron's injured. So Maximan's had injury struggles this year. Wilson's injured. Hayden's injured. You know, there's some big key players, especially Callum Wilson, that's injured at the moment. And he's pretty much their only goal scorer, Callum Wilson. I mean, other than that, they have Joe Linton, Andy Carroll, Dwight Gale. You know, they're not going to score you the goals that Callum Wilson's going to score you, are they, at the end of the day? But yeah, I'm concerned for Newcastle this season. I mean, I think they've got quite a tough run in as well. I think they have the likes of, Liverpool, Man United coming up as well. I think City as well are in there for them, and Leicester. I think Arsenal are in there. Spurs are in the next games. There's a tough run in for Newcastle. But I think their final 2 games they play both Sheffield United and Fulham. So those are 2 crucial games that they're going to stay up in the league. And we'll get on to a bit about the takeover now, the rumoured takeover of last summer by the Saudis. But it never happened. It seemed to have stalled for months. Because it looked like it was going to go through. It looked like Newcastle were going to become a big English powerhouse, similar to how Man City did it. But it just seemed to go quiet for so long without any news coming out of it. And then all of a sudden you just hear takeover's been blocked by the league. I think it was just because there's like a lot of problems down in that Middle East buying football clubs. So, but it's similar to Man City. If you're I know football's changed a lot since then when Man City were bought, but you know, what's the difference really? Both teams struggling to stay in the Premier League, or mid-table, I guess, kind of. But Man City, there's pretty much the same thing, and I know football changed a lot. I think that owner had a bit of dodgy background as well. But, you know, and the thing is, there's this rumour going around, it's definitely not true, but Newcastle are getting relegated on purpose so they can get that takeover whilst they're in the Championship, because there's like less eyes on them and that, and they can do it quite undercover, and then they can come back up and be in a powerhouse again. But I don't think that's true. They wouldn't want to be relegated on purpose, but surely Mike Ashley, we say this every season now it seems, but he's surely got to give up the club at some point. But I don't know, we'll have to see. But personally, I do think Newcastle will get relegated. I don't like to say it, but I just think Fulham are on good form. They're playing a lot better now. Brighton are finally looking like a pick-up. I think they've got back-to-back wins now, and they did just beat Newcastle 3-0. So, again, another concerning point for Newcastle. The thing is, like, if they do sack Bruce, who are they going to bring in? Maybe they could bring in like a Lampard or a Howell or maybe even a Chris Wilder, but all those managers want to come to Newcastle. We saw how much of a struggle it was after Benitez left, how much they struggled to get in the manager, and they ended up going for Steve Bruce, which was, as we've seen, not a great appointment. He's had I think he's had fallouts with the players. I think Isaac Hayden, Matt Ritchie he's had fallouts with. So he's clearly not. He hasn't got the trust of the players, but I think he's got the trust of Mike Ashley, and that's what matters at Newcastle. It's a sad state that the club's in, and it has been for a while now. I mean, last season they were all right. They were comfortably mid-table throughout the whole season. There was no really threat of relegation. Neither 18-19. I mean, 18-19, I think there was a bit at the start, but then they picked up 17-18. They finished 10th. That was their first season back in the league. But, you know, without a true goal scorer, you do fear for Newcastle after Wilson's got injured. I don't know how long he's out for, if he's still going to be injured after the international break, if he's out for the season. I don't think it's quite that long, but at the end of the day, when you sign a striker like Callum Wilson, he has an injury record, so you have to take that risk of signing him. But yeah, Newcastle, you have to fear for them now, I think. They're in a very bad position, and yeah, it's not looking up for them at the minute, whereas for clubs like Fulham and Brighton, it is looking up, albeit they're still outside the relegation zone for the moment, and that's what matters. But Fulham, again, they're looking up, and Newcastle are looking down at the end of the day. But yeah, how will they get on the Championship? I mean, surely if they do get relegated, they've got to get rid of Steve Bruce. They have to if they get relegated. I mean, Newcastle are too big of a club to go down to the Championship. And at the end of the day, they should be fighting in the Premier League every season for a top half finish. But at the end of the day, under Mike Ashley, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get the investment. And with a good coach like Rafa Benitez, they could have got that. We saw that they finished 10th in their first season back in the league under him. But he left for obvious reasons. He wasn't agreeing with the owner, Mike Ashley. And we've seen a similar situation, I think, at Sheffield United, Chris Wilder leaving because he had the fallout with the board. So if he's having a fallout there, I doubt he'll want to come to Newcastle, to be honest. But maybe they could be looking at the likes of Frank Lampard, Eddie Howe as well, as I said. And I think the Newcastle fans will want that because it's attacking football that Lampard and Howe bring, which is the opposite team we've seen under Bruce and Benitez, you know. And even McLaren before them. They need attacking football in Newcastle. It's a club that deserves better than Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley. But anyway, lads, that's going to have to do it for today's video. Will Newcastle be relegated? In the comments right now, doubt they are. But just in case, let me know, do you think they'll be relegated in the comment section below? Thank you for watching today, guys. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed. Also subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of 2021. So if you can help out with that, that'll be greatly appreciated. And yeah, thank you for watching today, guys, and I'll see you soon.